Hi, this is video number 3 on the Ancestor Veneration video series, and this topic is about our personal fears and hesitations about venerating our ancestors or initiating contact or communication with our ancestors. The past video was about the fears of the society and how and why society sees this thing as taboo and evil and demonic. Now we're getting more to personal hesitations. When people have already gone past that, okay, I see why this is a good thing to do. I see why this is positive. I see, it's been demystified to me, but I still got some hesitations about it, And some of these hesitations, are because let's be frank, not all of our family members are A-OK or, we get along with. And even those that have passed away, so maybe it could have been an uncle or so on and so forth, we may not be A-OK about, because of their character, things that they may have done, that kind of stuff. We may not be, warm to getting into this kind of thing because of things like that. Also, people born in families with a certain level of dysfunction, disharmony, because of how they've been hurt by their own family ties, the idea of creating more family ties with ancestors, they carry the same fears, the same defenses, because you gotta look out for yourself as well. And all these things lead to hesitations with connecting with ancestors as well, because hey, they weren't perfect people. They weren't all perfect. Just as much as you got idiots and assholes and whatnot here, those same people died and became our ancestors, okay? And history, we really, for the most part, remember wise men, wise women, outstanding individuals. But for the most part, you look around, most people are, Most people, if you had the choice of the power, you would say, I need to make some adjustments over here. I don't know how this is going. I don't know if this is going to work in the long run, but we need to make some adjustments. If you would have it your way, So you can expect, so it's natural. It's natural to feel that way, even with individuals who are no longer within the physical body, because they still are individuals. Here's one thing I would say to, to warm your heart about this. First of all of your feelings are valid. Okay, that's number 1. 2, if you had an issue with a deceased whoever who transitioned, maybe you were not able to resolve things. Maybe your grandpa was mean to you, or your father, it's okay to address those things even to their spirit when they have transitioned. It's not like religion where you gotta, get on your knees and kiss the floor and you are almighty and all never wrong and yada yada. This is not about kiss assery, okay? This is not about kissing ass at all. This is about authenticity. This is about integrity. It's about having an honest communication for once. If you couldn't have it on earth, at least when it comes to the ancestor veneration, portion of things, uphold the integrity. Uphold the integrity of who you are, how you feel, and what the reality is. And if there's some things you have questions about, it's very fair to inquire about those questions as well. What else could I say about this? Yeah, because even for me, my family was dysfunctional when I was growing up in it, so I had some of those hesitations, and personal doubts about getting into this kind of stuff, and I carried it when it came to ancestor veneration, and it was a stumbling block for me because I didn't know how to deal with it. Thankfully, I gained the right, wisdom and understanding of how to deal with it. And there's more techniques as well after you have your whole ancestor altar ready and all that. But the first thing I said is to let you know that all your feelings and emotions and thoughts and whatnot are all valid. The other thing I want to say is the state of mind of the person that has deceased. They are not necessarily exactly the same. So a lot of things are the same. Their tendencies may be the same, but not every aspect of their mind space is necessarily the same, because for lack of a better word, let's say the ego, what people refer to as the ego, is no longer there with them to bother them. The things that would make them itch or be like, triggers for their negative characteristics, they don't necessarily carry all that stuff with them. There's a certain element of, because when the body is discarded, a certain aspect of the mind is also discarded. And it's the aspect of the mind that is, let's say, the me kind of part of your mind, right? The easy word is to say ego here. The easy word is to say ego. I'm trying to find a better way to describe it. And this might better be said in the next video, where I go into the loss of the discriminatory mind after death, to give more of an understanding of the state of awareness when a person is disembodied, no longer having a physical body, right? The state of mind. And it's kind of like they're more approachable. They're not as bound to their negative or even positive traits. They're more closer to the true self, right? Think about every layer of body that you have as something that could potentially inhibit you from being in contact with your true self, just because the mind may misidentify itself with the body, right? When we're in the physical body and the physical nature, we identify so much with the physical nature that we forget about the more subtle spiritual, energetic natures of of who we are, right? And when the physical body is gone, a lot of how people would identify with certain human dynamics and characteristics has also gone away. So there's a layer of vulnerability, or a layer of, let's say, they're closer to who they are, in a sense, right? Or they're less distracted with the humanity, because humanity gets in the way, or humanity gives us an opportunity to get in our own way, because the awareness identifies with the humanity, or with the body, or with the career, or I am so and so kind of thing. I mean, that's gone. That excuse to misidentify is gone. And so what people refer to as the ego, a lot of that is also gone. So it's not like, and again, this is deep, and I want to be able to explain it carefully in this video. Some of the tendencies are there, but it's not so much ego-driven. It's not ego-driven, so it's easy for a person, let's say if they did wrong in life, when they die, to understand, oh, that was really wrong, and I was stupid, I couldn't see it. It's a lot easier to come to those kind of understandings or realizations when, you don't have the physical body and the nature of the ego to distract you from the ultimate truth, because you're not defending yourself from it, right? Out of compulsives. And a lot of this compulsiveness is from, the need to defend oneself, security, survival, your well-being being threatened, and that kind of stuff. And so people always having to be, sorry, I'm just trying to get a better sitting posture. So people trying to be having their defenses up a lot in physical life. Like I said, that kind of shell goes away. So there's more room for them to openly evaluate their behavior and say, oh, I was wrong. I didn't see that when I was human, but now I have more freedom of mind to sort of perceive that. I got a bit more awareness now to perceive that. So I'm giving you that consolation, if you will. I'm giving you that kind of consolation. Another thing is, I don't know, because this is a story that my friend had about her ancestors, because she also had hesitations, because not all family members were A-OK. And she had a dream where she was trying to go into her house, and because she was working on, connecting with her ancestors. And in this dream, she was about to go into this house, but I think it was her grandma or auntie who stopped her at the door and said, no, not right now. and she woke up. She didn't know what was happening. She thought she was rejected. A few months later, she had a dream, and her grandma is welcoming her back again into the house, and she's telling her, you know what, things on the ancestral plane were not, we had to work out a couple of kinks here and there. You know what I'm saying? Because even when some of the deceased members go back, shit can get real. You're gonna see so and so who was like this and who was like that. Some people who were on their bullshit and all that. You gotta, have your conversations. Again, there could be a bit more level of openness to be able to have that conversation on that side of things, but because people think that when you die, life stops, awareness stops, memory stops. Nah, you still a nigga. You still. A good example is to think about how you are when you're in a dream. You still have a presence. You still have a nature. There's still things about you that are you, or should I say, are you? No. It doesn't mean you no longer work through things. You can work through things on Earth. You can also work through things on the other side as well. And with the situation with her grandmother, that was part of the story. So it's like any, relationship on Earth. Sometimes we gotta work some things out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, being on the other side, there's a certain level of, and this is depending on, again, how that person died, their level of awareness that they have. All those things matter. Not everyone, dies the same way in terms of their their afterlife situations, their afterlife mentality kind of thing. But yeah, don't let it be a stumbling block. Just be bold, be authentic, and say how things are, say how you really feel, and let them answer you. If you have hesitations about ancestor veneration, all that kind of stuff, you can initiate it, you can set up your offerings, and say what's on your mind, and let it be up to them to give you a response back. Just like if you're to ask someone on Earth, you know what, Pops, I don't like that thing you did when I was young, or Mama was like this, and that wasn't cool, because our parents aren't perfect either, and we gotta forgive them too. They only knew so much, right? And they owe you a response. So you are owed a response if you communicate with someone and they want to communicate with you, especially if you're laying down offerings and stuff and helping them, with we'll talk about it in another video, but they owe you a response. So I hope this video helps to soothe the mind and the hesitations here. If you do have more concerns that have not been answered in this video or in other videos, feel free to always hit me up directly, and I'll help you figure it out. Right? Yeah, you're not perfect. No one else is perfect. You don't gotta be perfect. This is not about perfection. This is about just being authentic and keeping it real, and just saying it how it is, accepting yourself for how you are. So yeah, I hope that helps you guys.